So there's a problem with America, let's be real. Like, before you start calling me a flag burner or other inane, embarrassing, ignorant things, hear me out. Criticism is okay. You should criticize everything. It's how you learn and how others learn to be better. A country's social norms are no more above criticism than we are here at Treesicle. I'm particularly speaking about censorship. It's wrong, and I stand by that. Censorship is used in place of education and acceptance, rather than actually dealing with a concept or an image or a YouTube video about some silly game. Occasionally, things are worth censoring, but often, people in power would rather block things so they can't ruffle any prude, conservative, fear-mongering feathers. Because those people are loud and annoying and belligerent. That being said, this video will be family-friendly, because, well, I don't have any other option or way to get this to people if it's demonetized and suppressed. So let's get into the main subject. We know what censorship has done to YouTube. I can still taste the soap they washed my mouth out with. But as social media sites grow larger, so does the demand for soap. You know what I'm saying? And at last, the cleansing has begun, with none other than Tumblr. So prepare yourself for a story of what would happen if 4chan was entirely made up of emo kids from MySpace circa 2004. For a tale of a wretched hive of scum and villainy being washed squeaky clean forevermore.
What's wrong? I felt a great disturbance in the force, as if millions of voices suddenly cried out in terror and were suddenly silenced.
And for a lesson in the abuse of power, this is the story of Tumblr. The story you never knew. On December 17th, 2018, Tumblr will ban all adult content. The site was originally the brainchild of David Karp and Marco Arment. They wanted to create something called a Tumblblog, and since it hadn't been done yet, they did it, and, well, it worked. I still don't know what a Tumblblog is, though. Tumblr was an instant success, 75,000 users in 2 weeks, leading to a tight-knit community. By 2012, the site started using paid advertising, and in 2013, it was bought by Yahoo for $1.1 billion, which was a bad idea because they lost like $400 million on it, but whatever. Yahoo is a dinosaur anyway. Get a Gmail, Ryan. Yahoo sucks. Yahoo was then bought by Verizon in 2017, landing Tumblr in the hands of one of the biggest offenders of net neutrality. By the end of that year, Karp left his own company to the dogs. I'm gonna be real with you. I never liked Tumblr. It always felt like a huge party I wasn't invited to, but I never wanted to go to anyway, so I stayed home and ate a whole bag of Cheetos and drank a 6-pack instead. A 6-pack of chocolate milk! I told you this video was family friendly. Call me Barney. Anyway, it's true. I don't consider myself a Tumblr fan or expert by any means, but for the sake of the recent controversy over Tumblr banning all adult content that you may have heard of, I made the decision to do a deep dive. Perusing every nook and cranny, talking to friends who frequent it, and well, now I know some things. Terrible things. I've just given you a brief history on how the platform came to be. Now let's get into what makes it tick. There's a lot of hate that circles around Tumblr, and honestly, there's a good reason for it. All these pictures of ponies are getting to me. But yeah, the hate. Basically, what it boils down to is this. What you like, what you do, is represented by the loudest members of your community. And it may just be me, but I have a theory on loud people. They are loud to cover up their stupid. It's like, hey, if I'm super loud and aggressive about this, no one will notice how flawed or irrational my logic is. And Tumblrites are stereotyped as being loud, obnoxious, fascist, horny social rejects who have zero ability to communicate with normal human beings. Sorry, normal Tumblr person, that's reality. You think I like telling people I'm a YouTuber? You know what people see in their heads when they hear YouTuber?
I think there's someone hanging right there.
You're not alone. That being said, pockets of Tumblr are where the seedy underbelly of the political left lives. These particularly toxic corners thrive on recycled self-aggrandizing confirmation of their own beliefs. If you want the same toxic thing but on the opposite side of the political spectrum, just go to 4chan. I would know, I grew up on it. However, there is a lot of good that comes from Tumblr. It's a place where people that are disenfranchised can reach out, find others, and be together in a place of their choosing to communicate their thoughts and feelings safely. It's one of the best places to go for, how do I put this? Education regarding your no-no pieces, what to do with them and how to do it safely. Basically, the best thing about Tumblr was the worst thing about Tumblr. It was free, not in price, but in spirit, and also in price. Underneath all the ponies, the extreme leftist fascists, people claiming to be literal fairies, and the desperate attention seekers, Tumblr has been responsible for a huge majority of the internet content we love. Because it was open and individualized, Tumblr brought a wellspring of art and ideas, language, and, well, memes. There is talent on Tumblr all over the place. Individuals who make what we do look like peeing in a sandbox. You know, you just gotta wade through the animated tentacle gifs doing naughty things to get there. Honestly, I don't mind though. Speaking of tentacles, that was one of the best things Tumblr had going for it. No, not the tentacles themselves, but the adult content. And also the tentacles. See, people are strange. We like all sorts of things. Some people like ponies, some people like feet, some people like a squid and
Ayane
from Dead or Alive trying to procreate. Some people, I kid you not, like all of that together, except all the participants are made up of bubbles like that weird dream sequence from Dumbo. I know that's oddly specific, but I found it on Tumblr. If it was adult and it was messed up, it was on Tumblr. Rule 34's most talented home. And we aren't just talking animated stuff. I mean, I've seen some people I know, let's say, in their birthday suit because of Tumblr. That never would have happened otherwise. It was a cool thing to do a few years back. Don't ask me, I don't Tumblr, except when I do. Tumblr is gross, it's annoying, it's the essence of cringe, but it's also beautiful, funny, and, well, terrifying at times. It's Tumblr, it's the internet, and it's life. Or, well, it was. Remember the intro when you called me a flag burner and then I told you that you were dumb and then you kept watching the video because you like it like that? Well, yeah, I made that point for a reason. Like YouTube, Tumblr is being censored. Really badly, too. The idiots flagged their own flagging announcement. And just because I'm not personally a fan of the platform doesn't mean I can't appreciate the value it brought. A few days ago, it was announced that Tumblr would be banning all adult content, and naturally people are upset. See, the thing about adult content is that it's fine. There's nothing inherently wrong with it. You might not like it, but that's your opinion. And my opinion, because YouTube is my daddy and daddy hurts me when I'm bad. Opinions are subjective because they aren't right or wrong. It's just a feeling you have and absolutely no one has to care. And most of them don't and never will, because they have opinions too. It's kind of what makes us human. Get it? Anyway, adult content is labeled that way because it's considered too graphic for children. That's fine. There's legitimately some things you don't want kids to see so they can preserve some semblance of innocence or whatever. But to take a community that thrives off of expression and then censor said expression is wrong. Part of what made Tumblr unique is that you can have your Animal Crossing fandom, but you can also have all the twisted BDSM hanging from your chest dots video side by side and sprinkle in some drawn hentai and an article about how Elon Musk is going to remove gravity and suck out our atmosphere. Tumblr was a melting pot. It was also a place where people felt they could expose themselves and be proud. It thrived on its ability to create adult content in all forms, whether its users chose to create it or not. Tumblr is an app. Anyone who has that app gets it willingly and should educate themselves on it beforehand. If you don't want your child seeing something on YouTube or Tumblr, simply don't let them. Or just don't have kids. That's worked for me so far. Much of the censorship issues we have are because of inept parents who depend on companies to do their work for them. But that in turn ruins everything for everyone else who's just trying to get their cums on, or make a joke about sweater yams in a FNAF bid. Don't worry though, this may all be her fault, but I still love your mom. Now that I've gone on a tangent about what Tumblr is and how all the free, expressive, and often naughty goodness makes it tick, let's bring it back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. Wait, I mean how and why Verizon is ruining everything! In November 2018, some pictures slipped through Tumblr's filters that depicted what your parents do when they lock their door and tell you to go away. Except it wasn't your parents, it was chitlins! Chitlins, I tell ya! This is what's claimed to be the reason for the mass censoring. A hefty dose of CP. Surprisingly, Apple is also largely responsible for the change in policy. Turns out Apple doesn't like dirty pics of kids. Makes sense. That's a big ol' no-no. Exactly what these pictures depicted, I don't know, but something slipped through the site's filters. All platforms have filters, YouTube included, but they're automated algorithms and are not foolproof. So instead of working with Tumblr, Apple removed the app from its store, and as of this video's release, it's still not back. This removed all Apple users' mobile access to the website. So Tumblr freaked and did, well, this. Now, Apple throwing their big banana around was part of this issue, but there is also Verizon's oath agreement, which Yahoo and inevitably Tumblr fall into. Marnie Walden, Verizon's exec VP, explains that Oath's strategy will be to place the same content, whether articles, videos, or ads, in multiple locations to reach the widest possible audience. There's a phrase in there I want you to burn into your brain: widest possible audience. You know who likes the weirdest stuff on the web? The most marginalized, socially outcast, and disenfranchised people. The people that needed Tumblr the most. The problem isn't that I can't find videos that would make my mom grow a mustache anymore, though I mean, let's be real, that sucks. It's what these new censorship algorithm changes are doing to Tumblr and its community. Don't get me wrong, I'm okay with not seeing Pony on Foxy Love while Sonic the Hedgehog watches and Buzz Lightyear films. But as we all know, Adpocalypse, these algorithmic filters can either be total trash or at least take a while to become effective. In the meantime, creators suffer. Demonetization algorithm. Things are and will be censored that have no right to be. Adult art, queer imagery, particularly, say, a pic of two shirtless men kissing, etc. This is ruining the careers of thousands of artists, and they may have to go to DeviantArt! It's like Tumblr was dropped as a baby 2 times instead of just once! I kid. I love DeviantArt. But there's some weird stuff on there too, man! But do you know how difficult it is to move platforms? Twitch.tv/Treesicle. How hard it is to get your fan base to come with you every weekday at 3 p.m. Or simply click a link, buy our shirts on pixelempire.com/Treesicle. It's nigh impossible! In an interview, Tumblr CEO and possible pizza spinner Jeff D'Onofrio said, "There are no shortage of sites on the internet that feature adult content. We will leave it to them and focus our efforts on creating the most welcoming environment possible for our community." Welcoming environment, more like profit-maximizing environment. A place where you can express yourself to the point of hiding Coke cans inside your organs is about as welcoming as I can imagine. Basically, Tumblr isn't banning the good stuff because of an incident with their filters. It's to maximize profit, and they would rather ruin the safe place of marginalized human beings than deal with the risks of maintaining it. Instead, they'd rather make it into another stale Disneyland ride. Same thing that may or may not be happening with YouTube. What's next? X videos? Bad Dragon? Don't take that from me. We all poopy on Tumblr because it's easy, because the most vocal part of their user base are kind of the most annoying people on the planet, because it's the land of bronies and FNAF Rule 34 and people who literally think they're fairies and that's somehow a gender. But underneath all that Sonic fan art is a place where people who felt alone found others like them. A place where you could get in your birthday suit and share some naughty vids, disgusting heathenistic fan art, and pics of your feet, or learn about the facts of life, discover what it means to be queer, or how to empower yourself as a woman even if you don't have lady parts. Some adult imagery may be necessary simply to explain those things. Even anatomy pics are being removed. Tumblr is but another haven removed in the name of the widest possible audience, maximizing profit and basically putting the dew piston to the little guy while he bites the pillow. Tumblr was considered a safe place, but now we know how fragile that is. Nowhere is safe when you're up against people with money. Eventually, our generation will be the ones with the majority of power and seniority. So maybe start thinking about what's important to you. How much money is enough money? How large of an audience is large enough? Is 441 million bloggers not enough? Is that not wide enough to respect? I may not like Tumblr. You may not like Tumblr. But its user base is largely 18 to 29-year-olds. That's our generation. Tumblr was our app. Sorry, I think I almost just seized out there for a second. And it's being destroyed for profit under the guise of an underage photography shoot scandal. Wake up, sheeple! That's the story of Tumblr. The story you never knew. I gotta go take a shower. I'm back, and I'm so fresh and so clean. But not as fresh or clean as our awesome new Came to Conquer shirt. Aliens exist, and they want your mom. I'm just putting that out there. So join the Legion. Get our shirt before it disappears into hyperspace forever. They're comfortable, stylish AF, and best of all, inexpensive. Get one for you or your friend. We have men's, women's, and tanks and hoodies. And tees. Go to pixelempire.com/Treesicle and use code Treesicle for 10% off your whole order. Help out our channel so we can continue to bring you info on how the Bunny Man is tearing down all that we love. Have a nice day and stay family friendly. Or else! Was that good, Daddy?